Programming is becoming prompting. Not too sure about that, but let's find out why Leon thinks so. It's a weird time to be a developer. Not bad, just weird. I agree. You open Twitter, sorry, X, and suddenly everyone's a engineer. People are building full stack apps with three sentences and a screenshot. I'm still yet to see an application that is completely vibe coded that works really well. I hear about these applications, but I've never actually seen it. So if anyone has one that actually works and is in production, send it to me. But apart from this, I don't really believe any of those people saying they are vibe coding apps. Job posts asks for experience with LangChain before they ask about JavaScript because everyone should know JavaScript by now. Come on. And you're there like, wait, do I even need to code anymore? Let's talk about it. Prompting is the new programming, apparently. Okay, seems like he might not believe it. Back in 2020, if someone said prompting, I'd assume they were talking about CLI flags or asking a user for input. Yes, I think I would assume asking for a user for input. Now it means writing the perfect sentence to coax GPT into generating an entire microservice. I would say to coax Claude, not GPT. Who codes with GPT? I never understand when people code with GPT. Anyway, into generating an entire microservice with error handling, tests, and documentation. And let's be real, it's kind of amazing. I've used prompts to scaffold code bases, generate test cases, refactor legacy nightmares, and even write bash scripts I didn't feel like Googling. Notice these are actually like the useless stuff that we didn't really do in the first place. For example, scaffold code bases, we usually used boilerplates for that. Generate test cases, we either did not do that or we let the intern do that. Refactor legacy nightmares, well, peak times for anyone that had to do this. But anyways, these are not like crazy things that I would say are like very pivotal in basically achieving a production level application. But let's keep going. It works and it saves time, and yeah, it's fun. But it's also a little strange because when you start writing prompts instead of function, you stop flexing those problem solving muscles that got you into programming in the first place. This is so true. I had to write a function the other day. It was a very straightforward function, but like something that would require me to take notes before to implement. Like I basically had to use a recursive function to build a tree. And I noticed instead of trying to do the problem solving, I literally just tried to come up with the perfect prompts that would get AI to do it for me. And when AI did it, I looked at the implementation and I thought, this is pretty good. And I didn't really feel the amazing feeling I would feel in the past when I actually like build it myself, solve it myself, and then find out that it works. So I think I remember just thinking, I can see me losing this skill that I have over time if I keep prompting like this rather than just implementing myself. Something changed over the last couple of years, and I'm not asking about the layoffs, though we definitely felt those too. The vibe of being a dev shifted. Suddenly it's less crafting software and more assembling outputs from models and APIs. I would say that's not true. I think it's actually more crafting software now because I think right now, for me anyway, I guess you guys could tell me if you're different. But I basically use prompting to write a lot of repetitive code that I would have had to write before and I would not want to write it. For example, if I already know what the model should look like or the database schema, and I already know how the API should work, writing that code in the past wasn't really fun because I just had to like write it as quickly as possible and type as quickly as possible. Whereas now I'm actually more thinking about the software, how everything works together, the design of the system, and then just prompting the boring parts out. So I would say it's more craft and software, in my opinion. You write a bit of glue code, prompt an LLM for a function, copy paste some Slack Overflow answer into ChatGPT to clean it up, ship it, move on. Does this person not know about Cursor? What the hell? Why are you copying anything into ChatGPT? Is this bad? Not necessarily. Tools evolve, abstractions stack. No one codes in assembly anymore unless you're very, very cool at Cursed. I code in assembly if you watch my Instagram videos. But something feels different. I don't get the same joy writing a bulletproof prompt that generates a Stripe webhook handler as I did writing it myself. But I get the same joy playing with the end result at the end though. So yeah, I don't know. I miss zoning out with VS Code. I miss reading docs. I do not. Who the hell misses reading docs? Leon, Ico, Bull. I miss thinking through edge cases. Maybe, but no. Now I just ask the AI to handle edge cases and hope it understands what I meant. Why it's still worth learning how to code. Here's the thing, prompting is powerful, but it's not magic. And the moment something breaks or needs to scale or has a weird race condition, you need to actually understand what's going on under the hood. This is exactly what I think too. I think even if code, AI, whatever, coding gets us 80, 90% of the way there, you still need to know how to understand every single code it writes, because if you need to fix it but you don't understand how to code, then you are completely screwed. My prediction, I guess you guys can pull this video up when I'm wrong in the future, but my prediction is I think AI coding is going to be like self-driving cars, where the companies have promised us for years and years and years that, hey, look, we're going to get self-driving cars. But the problem is that final 10% is really, really hard. And without that final 10%, you essentially still have to know how to drive to be able to take over from the car at any point. So I think I don't think anything is gonna change anytime soon. Knowing how to code is still the superpower. The prompt is just a shortcut. It's like knowing how to drive, oh yeah, versus relying on autopilot. Sure, let the AI help you on the highway, but if you can't parallel park manually when the system glitches, you are told. Exactly. I mean, one would think I actually already read this article, but that's exactly my point. I've seen this play out in real teams. New devs who only know how to prompt get stuck fast when debugging, testing, or building something non-trivial. Senior devs are still the ones untangling those last 10% problems that the AI couldn't predict. I also think this was the case when I was learning like all these new web development frameworks and I met engineers that understood the old like ugly ass frameworks. I feel like they were better programmers than me because they understood what was happening behind the web frameworks that I was using. So it just allowed them to solve problems quicker. It allowed them to even use the technology I was learning and just be able to get a hang of it very quickly. So yeah, wow, this guy's just copying me. I literally just said so yeah, and he said so yeah. Anyways, learn to code, learn to build, learn why things work, then prompt all you want. But also, don't be a dinosaur. That said, refusing to adapt is a great way to become irrelevant, of course. I've seen devs mock prompt engineers like they are not real developers. These same people once mocked front end devs too. And before that, mocked people who use rail generators. And before that, mocked people who didn't write and see the pattern. I don't think I've ever met an engineer that said they do not use AI. Actually, I think my friend was telling me about someone that banned their interns from using AI to basically teach them how to code, which I guess makes sense. But again, I don't think I've actually met a serious engineer that said, "Oh no, I'm not prompting. I'm still trying to, do this myself," because that would be completely insane. Prompting is programming now just a new flavor. It's part of a toolkit. Ignoring it means ignoring a real powerful abstraction layer that can make you more efficient, creative, and productive. This is true. One thing I want to build up on this point is that I think as AI begins to become something that is used in every single industry, I think that actually makes engineers or programmers more useful, because we've basically spent our whole life learning how to talk to computers and be very, very clear about what we want, because that's literally what programming is in the first place. So I feel like I can go into a job that I have no idea about and probably prompt my way to be as good as the really good people in that job, because I'm really good at talking to computers. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm basically just saying, I think the fact that we can talk to computers means that when AI starts to take over everything, we will be the best people to give instructions to the AI. So what's lost? Creativity, maybe. When we let the AI write our code, our job becomes editing instead of investing, curating instead of crafting. It's going from painting to photo editing. Still art, still skill, but sometimes different. True, we risk losing the joy of building from scratch. I don't think I'm losing that joy. I actually think I'm gaining more in that area, because now I'm building more than ever. Any application I think of, I can literally build it in a day. So I feel like I'm actually gaining more joy from that front. The tiny design decisions that add up to big differences, the unique fingerprints you leave in your code, and everything starts to look like GPT output, or apps start to feel the same. True. And hey, maybe that's that's fine for CRUD stuff, but the best software, the stuff that feels different, usually comes from human weirdness, not robotic predictability. True. I also think we will lose from relying more on AI is the problem solving fun. I think I've definitely lost that. And I think for the last few months, instead of me just like sitting there drawing out an algorithm, I'm just asking GPT-03 or Claude to just debug it for me. So yeah, that's a pretty good article. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is programming becoming prompting?